Hello my YouTube world, this is Johnny Mow coming to you with a very special video here. High efficiency mowing. I need to incorporate this only because this little sidebar into this video, because you guys blew me up with emails, you guys blew me up with comments about this numbers thing. I'm going to take you through my computer program and I'm going to show you how I track my numbers, and I'm going to show you how to do this. And to be honest with you, I don't know too many guys that are going to do this for you. I don't know too many people out there who are going to actually break it down and show you how to track these numbers. I'm going to do the best I can. Some of you may think that this is sappy. Ha ha! You didn't think I saw that, did you? That's all right, boy. I'm a big boy. You can take it. Anyway, let's keep on going. What we're going to do is I'm going to take you through how I break down these numbers. It takes me minutes a day, literally minutes a day, not hours. I don't use QuickBooks. I made my own little program that I like. It gives me a snapshot of my business. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each little place where how I do things, so you can track your numbers. You can become more profitable. Listen, you're a business owner. The younger you are when you get what I'm going to show you, the better off you'll be. I didn't get this soon enough. I wish I would have got it sooner. Now, when you first start off, you're not going to get these profit margins at 30% and all this. I'm going to show you how I arrive at it. I'm going to show you how I pay myself. I'm going to show you what to do and how to do it. Most guys that are on forums or other ways that you receive your information don't do what I'm going to show you. And honestly, you know, some of the guys that are on the forums, they're not even in business full time. So they can't even give you a proper perspective about business. They're part-timers. They have other jobs. That is not the deal. Having a part-time job isn't the bad part. The bad part is when you get on these forums, you get on different social medias, and then you try to portray yourself as someone who's been doing this for many years, and you've got all the answers, and everything you say, you know, is golden. When the truth of the matter is, this is going to sting a little bit, but sometimes it needs to sting. You haven't even made your own business success yet. Not to say that you won't, but you haven't made your own business success, but you want to comment on everything as if you were the pro. And the problem is that there's a lot of people who are listening to us, and we as responsible people have to give them information to cause them to be a success. Not just to hear ourselves rant, not just to hear ourselves talk, but give them information. What I'm about to show you, probably 90% of the guys out there don't do it. They don't actually sit down and do what I'm about to show you, about tracking numbers, about making sure you're profitable. You know, I'm in an area where there are no $1 million businesses. I wish that I could get this through people's head. You know, you guys email me and say, well, you should do this, you should do that. You should, listen, next year will be 20 years in this industry. 20 years. I got a lot of experience in this industry. So, if I wanted to be $1 million business, if I wanted to grow that big, it would have to be a regional thing. 2 hours to the west. Nothing to the east because it's mountains. 2 hours north. 2 hours south. It's just not in the cards. You know what I mean? I'm not going to drive 2 hours or put a substation somewhere where I can't physically. I'm not that good of a leader. I'm telling you that that's my weakness. I'm not strong enough as a leader to go do that. So what I choose to do is I live a lesser lifestyle and use the profit margins, and I've built an income and a savings account over time, which has caused me to be, first of all, financially free. You know, finances are virtually worryless. You take that right out of the marriage because there is no, you know, issues with finances. It's taking years to do it. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to chase the $1 million dream. If I wanted to live in a $4,000 house in our town, I could. 3,000 square foot house, which is a very large house, very nice. I don't. I live in a 1,200 square foot house. I do have a partially finished basement. I do have 4 bedrooms, a little Cape Cod. I bought it for $73,000. Okay, I've probably put about 40 grand into it. I've got about 30 grand in equity, and it's nothing special. Like if you went down the street, you wouldn't even know. You're like, oh wow, that's where Johnny Bo. It's nothing, but what it is it's so affordable, and I'm happy. You know what I mean? See, I grew up on the poorest section of town. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, when I bought this house, the first thing I did is walked in and cried. I bawled. You know, when we were kids, you know, we grew up in the projects, we grew up in the poorest section of town. We didn't grow up in the projects our whole life, but we did for a little bit, and then we got out, we moved into an apartment, then we moved into a little 2-bedroom, and, you know, we moved around, we just moved from different areas of the poorest section of town. And then as I got older and went out on my own, I lived in the poor section, because that's all I could afford. So I bawled the day I signed the papers on this house. Now, does that mean that I won't ever live in a 4,000 square foot? No, it doesn't mean that. I don't know. You know, if something comes up, it's got the right property, it's got the right things, then sure, I'll do that. But I'm not chasing the $1 million dream. I am not going to postpone my happiness and miss out on my kids growing up, miss out on me and my wife going out on dates, and miss out on everything because I want to chase the dollar. Because you can always get money. You can never get time back. And this is what I'm trying to teach you, especially you younger guys, especially you guys who are out there are hungry and you're wanting to know how to do it. Most guys in this industry don't even know how to do what I'm showing you to do. So here's what they do. They bash you, or they send you emails under different troll accounts, and they say everything that you're doing wrong, and then they want to yap. They want to get in circles and talk about you, and then, but you're not helping. That's the whole thing. It's about helping people. And here's the thing. The mentality has to be, at some point in your life, you got to get to the point, and this is what this channel is really about. You have to get to the point where it's not about you. You know, there's a particular message in the church realm, the gospel. It's called the prosperity message. And there's some certain truths that are twisted in there. Like, you know, here's the thing. There's a scripture that says, "Give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, shall God give it." Well, what the prosperity message does is it takes that give and it shall be given unto you, good measure. So what they're saying is that if you give, what's going to happen is all these blessings are going to give back to you, and you're going to be so blessed you're not going to. There's a certain truth to that. But the thing is, it's not about the giving part. The prosperity message is more focused on the inward part about what you get. Now, let's back up the verse a little bit. If you're going to preach that, you got to preach it in context with the scriptures. And what that is he was talking about your attitude. The judgment that you give is the judgment that you're going to get. He wasn't even talking about finances, but prosperity messages have, what they have done is they've twisted it just a little bit. Now, can you place, because give, you know, could be anything, but when you're entitling the word give in the proper perspective, it would be the judgment or the criticism that you give. So give would be more associated with criticism than it would be money. Prosperity preachers, what they've done is they've twisted that, and now you've got a lot of people going out there giving. Well, when's God going to give it back to me? Press down, shake it together, good measure. That's not what that's talking about per se. Okay? So what's happening is we have a lot of people who are selfish, and they're all about them, and they're not about... See, when Jesus died on the cross, it was about them, not him. See, that's the attitude that we should be giving out. It's about them, not about us. So that's what this channel is about. It's, you know, if you have the potential to be a millionaire, I want you to be a millionaire. But I don't want you to chase a dream that most likely may never happen, and then you get to 50, 60 years old and you wonder what happened in my life, and I'm divorced, I don't have the money I thought I was going to, I don't live in the house I thought I was going to live in. what I'm trying to say here is I want you to be happy in life. You only get about 70 to 100 years on this earth. And the truth of the matter is, special slash slapping point. A very serious slapping point. When it's all said and done, you're not going to remember the money that you made. You're going to wish you had a few more years. You're going to wish that maybe you did some things differently. But when you're at your youngest, do things right. Don't chase dollars. Dollars can be replaced. Time can never be replaced. I had a customer call me one time, and he said this. He needed weeds pulled out of his bed. I was sitting out of his landscape beds, and he wanted me to come right now. I was at my daughter's softball game. I said that would never happen in 1.1 million years. I'm not going to trade a dollar or a customer to see my daughter hit a double and get to second base and then turn around and look to see if daddy was in the stands and her to jump up and down. The very first thing after my daughter gets on base, it's amazing. She looks to see where I'm at. She wants to know that I've seen her. Can you put a price tag on that? Can you put a price tag on you're at work and your wife's been wanting to spend time with you so bad? How much is that worth? How much is the signed divorce papers worth? Special slapping point right there. That right there would change your life. All right, guys, let's get into this. Let's get into this video, and we are going to break down some numbers. I'm going to show you how I do things. I want you to think about what you just heard. Powerful stuff. You younger guys that are watching this channel, if you'll pay attention to this, I am positive you are going to do great things. All right, guys, I want to apologize right off the bat. This is going to be shaky. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what I would do if it was a day. Now, this is my calendar on my desk. I'm just going to show you how I do things. So let's say I did $300 today. I would come in, write $300 gross dollars in my calendar, which I've showed you these calendars before. I just don't have any available right now. Let's say I worked 5 hours, and that would be, what, $60 an hour. And then below that, I would write how many people were out, 2. In these blocks, I would also write, let's say, breakdown. If the hours I didn't like weren't good, I would write down breakdown. I would examine why the hours, the dollar per hour, which is 60 with 2-man crew, is low. You know, I mean, that's low for me for a 2-man crew. So I need to know why it was that way. Let's say rain. I also put the temperature. If it's extremely hot or extremely cold, I would put the temperature up there. For going through a dry spell, I would put dry spell. So, and then I pack these calendars away for future reference. Okay, so this is the part that's going to get shaky. Please bear with me, because this will be powerful, but just bear with me. Okay, let's get you back in tune. This is the computer program that I wrote on Excel. I've used this for a very long time. So let's say it was January. I'd write in 1/1/15. That week that I work. Now I do this every Saturday. So that Saturday I say I worked, let's say, 5 days. I put 5 days in. Okay, so let's say I made $3,000 that week. Okay, so let's say I worked 40 hours. All right, so everything's being, so we got January, 5, money 3, hours 40, our hourly rate was 75. Now look down here, it brings it all together, okay? So every week on a Saturday night, when I come into my office to close out the books for the week, now you ask, these are gross numbers. Where did I get these gross numbers? Remember, from the block calendar. So every night that I come home, I write down my gross numbers. And what happens is I put it in this little, sorry guys, it's very shaky, but just bear with me. I put it in here, and what happens is I do this every week all year long. Okay, so now what happens? I come down here, and this gives me a snapshot of my business, gross numbers. First quarter gives me quarters numbers. Second quarter gives me fourth quarter. Now right here, if you can see it, it gives me a breakdown of the total days, the total hours that I worked for that year, and the hourly rate. So what I do is over here it says, see this hourly percentage, and then I break it down. So I started this in 1998, and then I just write down my gross income all the way down through there, and I track it, and I see if I'm growing or if I'm shrinking or what. This hourly percentage is every year at the end of the year, I'll take this hourly and I'll write it down beside the date. And so that gives me a breakdown of everything. What I do here, now I've added different pieces to this program as I've went along. This is a monthly breakdown. So at the end of the month, I'll write in the income for the year, for the gross income. Okay? So this is how I track my total business income. Like, well, my QuickBooks can do that. It can. You're right. I just like to do it this way. I didn't like QuickBooks. I've said in other business videos that I've done that the reasons why I didn't like QuickBooks. So this is the total how I run things. Now, in these quarterlies, what I'll do at the end of the year, I'll write down each quarterly. See, I made this part of the program in 2006. And I'll track these quarterly numbers. And so it gets all the information from here, all from the block calendars, and that's how I do this. Just a simple program. It only takes a minute to do on a Saturday evening to add up my gross numbers, put them in here, gives me a snapshot of what I'm doing as part of my gross income. It gives me a snapshot of what the company's doing. And this number here is how I know if I'm making my hourly rate or not. What do I need to make? That's how I know if I'm making the hourly rate and getting the 30% profit. Okay, guys? So this is the program that I've invented, that I've used. It gives me a snapshot, lets me see other years, lets me see if I'm growing. It's all in one. I don't want to use a program that I've got to, look on one page and look on it. This tracks everything for me, dollar per hour. Now, I'm going to stop this. And again, I apologize about the shakiness of it, but please understand that if you can get through this shakiness and get yourself your own little version of this, this will help you track numbers, especially gross. So what you're going to do is you're going to find out what you need to make, and then you're going to hit it and add the 30%, and then you're going to track it like this. This is how, Johnny, you're over this literally takes minutes. I'm not over the top. If you don't think corporate people track their profit margins, then there's something wrong with you. You're in business. You're not in business to buy mowers and go out and have fun. That's called a hobby. I'm here to make money, make people happy, but make money so that when it's all said and done, I can retire. You got retirement out there. How do you know how much to invest? Do you have a Roth IRA? These are questions you need to ask. You're not in business to do just nothing. You got to make a profit. This is how I track those numbers. So hope you enjoyed this. Let's go to another screen. All right, my YouTube world, here it is. You guys asked me, how do I know if I'm making a profit or not? This is my profit and loss. I do this every day. Again, a couple seconds. Now, I told you that on Monday I pay 10 days worth of bills. What I do is I add that to my expense. Every day I come home, off the calendar, I write down the gross profit, and then I write down the expense right down here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. I generally don't work Sunday. So it'd be the expense for the day, and then the gross profit for the day. Okay? That's how I track it. And then it comes over here at the end of the month. It'll tell me, let's just say, okay, we'll just do this. We'll go, I made $500 for the day with employees, gas and everything. Let's say it was, I don't know, $200, we'll say. I don't know, I'm just making up numbers. What happened over here? It gives me the profit and loss, $300. At the end of the month, what I'll write down, whether it's a negative or a positive, hopefully it's never a negative. Sometimes it is, especially in April. Like last April was negative $6,000. That's turning the wheel of the business. So January, I would write in $300. Now I do this every day. Now you're saying, how do you calculate your employees? Because I pay them on Mondays, Monday would be the expense for the employees for the following week. That's the easiest way to do it because your taxes are already taken out. You've already calculated everything, and that's the easiest way to do it. The only thing that changes from day to day, because the expenses I pay 10 days worth of bills, would be if I went to a local gas station and I actually got gas in that. So I would write that expense. Or if I had a repair for that day and I paid it out while putting it in my checking account, I would then go ahead and put it right here. This is for personal use. This is profit and loss. And then it's just basically, it gives you everything. It gives you everything that you're doing. Okay? So easy way to do it. Very simple program. As you can see, every day I could tell you if I'm in the yellow, the red, the black, the blue. Doesn't matter. It's something very easy to do. I'm tracking numbers. Why am I doing this? So that I can get a snapshot of what's going on. Now let's take a closer look. It's really bad, but here's my goals. There's goals. There's the FERT program. This is a fertilizing program that makes it very easy, because when you start fertilizing, you're going to need to know how many bags of fertilizer to order at all times. So what I've done is I've gave you a basic example. So let's say a customer's name is Glass. He's 11 square foot. His price is 60. That 11 comes over here for total square foot of 11 and 17 is 28. It's 112. So I would need 2.24 bags of fertilizer according to my formula. And here's my total price. So I actually break that down. Every time I get a new customer, I bring it in here and I put it in here and I do the square footage. So when I call to get my fertilizer, it's very simple. All it is just look over, okay, I need to order, let's say when I have them all plugged in, I say I needed to order 40 bags of FERT. Well, then I would order like 42 for new customers that I would get. This would tell me. I have it broken down for insecticide, which ones get merit. And that would give me the total bags that I need, but also give me the merit price, the merit for the insecticide too. It let me know, okay, I need 20 bags of merit. And great program, easily trackable. This is stuff that takes minutes, total minutes for a day, maybe 5. I showed you the profit and loss. On this one here, this is my workbook. This is a workbook I made up for my business. This is contract, all my contract work. It tracks all the services provided for contracts, so that way I know how many. So if I bid it out at 30, then it better be 30 mowings, and it'll track that for me. Let's go. So you can see in the landscape, the business breakdown. That's my balance sheet. I keep a balance sheet. Business budget, home budget. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the business budget and the home budget. I'm going to shut this off and stop making it shaky because I know you guys hate that, but I need you to see some of the programs that I'm running with. All right? World, okay, slap point there. I just gave you a breakdown of some of the stuff that I use for tracking numbers. The home budget and the business budget. Monthly, I run the numbers. So what I do is I go into my accounts receivable program, okay? And what I do is I look and see what money's coming in for that month, and then I budget that money in the business side of it for the next month because that's the money that's going to come in. And the home budget, what I do is the home side of my life is all the bills that I need to pay in my home. That's the paycheck that I would draw from to pay those bills. So now I know what my hourly rate needs to be to get to 30%. See, the home budget will give me my total number that I need to hit for my home. The business side gives me the number that I need to hit for the business side of it. So what happens when you mix the two, that's the monthly nut you need to crack, so to speak. Here's the deal. So every Monday, I pay out 10 days worth of bills, okay? I pay from Monday to the following Wednesday. What I do is I go on the home side of it, because I do payroll on that day. I go on the home side of it and I look at what bills are due in the next 10 days. That's my paycheck. Do you get it? That's how I pay myself. So those bills are all encompassed in these programs. That's something QuickBooks won't do for you. That's why I invented this system, because you can't accurately track. If you're going to do this business, it has to be able to just pay. Also, it can't just pay your business bills. It has to pay your house bills too, or else you can't live. And what we do is, going out to eat money. I know about how much money we need to go out to eat when it's kids' time, when it comes time to buying clothes. I know to withdraw a little bit, pay yourself a little bit more so that you can, withstand, doing the kids' stuff. Very simple things, guys. Honestly, once you get used to this, minutes. It's just plugging numbers in. Because your bills generally don't change too much. Very simple, very easy to do. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the Gopher program, which basically runs the majority. I'm closing out a program, making sure I save everything. Okay, so I'm going to show you the Gopher program. I'm loading it now. Oh, I think my employees are here. But that's what I'm doing, and this is how we do it. Hopefully you enjoy this video. I will show you the Gopher snapshot. I want you to track your numbers. This is good stuff. All right, guys, back to Shaky. This is your Gopher program. As you can see, everything is easily done. This is how I invoice, schedule everything. Okay, so right here, we're at Thursday the 14th. This is all the jobs I've lined up. So what I would do is I go to print jobs. I would put OK, push printer, and it will go to the printer. So it'll print that out. Now say I wanted to complete all this work. Complete jobs. You can go all jobs or some jobs. You can say, so if I pushed all jobs, all those jobs would be marked complete. Okay? Now where do they go? Now say I want to generate invoices. Generate invoices. All customers, sure. We put in the date range, push OK, and then they start firing out the printer. Now, as you can see, this takes seconds. Just seconds. That's it, guys. Seconds to do. Bookwork done. Add another minute for my other stuff, and we're up. We're in the shower, and we're done. All right. Let me show you what the paper looks like. World's Johnny Mo, and what I want to do is I want to show you what it looks like. All right, here we go. Time in, time out sheet from the sheet that printed from Gopher. Time in, time out. That's how you track this stuff. That's how you track your numbers. You got to start tracking when you're out there in the field. How long it takes you to cut that grass. How long you started, and at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I come home. I grab, I don't have one with me. I put them all away. The calendar blocks like I've showed you. Then boom, how much money, gross money, and all of that stuff. My profit or loss, I break down the expense. That's how I know how much money I need to crack a year. That's how I know to get to 30% profit. You're a low baller. Listen, the national average, honestly, for a business like mine in America is 20%. So what's the big deal? If I'm making 30%, well, you're a low baller. Listen, I'm above the national average. 30%. I cracked that 30%. Why? Because I track these numbers. Everything I do, I track those numbers. And you're like, well, you're just over the top. Maybe you're just meticulous. Maybe you can't be done. Do you think Lowe's does it? Do you think McDonald's tracks numbers? If you're going to succeed in business and have a healthy retirement at the end, see, you got to think, you got to begin with the end in mind. You know, Stephen Covey writes a great book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There are certain things that you have no idea what's going to happen, but when you start a business, you got to think about the long haul. What's this going to look like when you're 55, when you're 60? Do you have something that you can sell? Like right now, I have a viable business I can sell with a customer base. I've had 3 offers in 3 years. Honestly, 3 offers to buy me out. So, I'm building something, first of all, that can be sold. I'm building a retirement for myself with the income, and I'm living a very great lifestyle. This is how you track your numbers, guys. Go through these videos 4 or 5 times just to get used to how you do things. Okay? I can't stress this enough, guys. I'm not over the top. how long does it take you before you start a project to write in the time in, time out? How long would that take you? Not long. How long would it take you at the end of the day to push complete all jobs and have it sent to an invoice, to go to your profit and loss, write down your gross, put in your receipts? You got to put in your receipts to your checking account anyway. So what's the big deal? You know what I mean? It's like a few seconds, a minute. You know, it's not like I'm asking you to take hours a day to do something. We're talking about minutes a day. This is how I track the business. This is the important stuff. The programs I showed you, QuickBooks, can do and put it all in one place, but there's some aspects of QuickBooks I didn't like, so I made these. And literally, you're talking minutes a day. Bookwork is a cinch. And then, you know, when I gave you the business breakdown, that hourly rate there at the bottom of the screen is how I know if I'm hitting that 30% profit, because I already know about what I need to make, and that lets me know every week, every day, that profit and loss. Okay, if I'm at a negative, what's going on? What's causing these big, huge negatives? I mean, you could have a huge repair bill at the end. I remember one time I had $8,000 worth of repairs. Well, sure, that my profit didn't look so good that month. You know, with that much repairs, and you got employees, you got different things. So this is how you do it. Most guys will not even show you because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to track. And here's what I've noticed. When people don't know how to track numbers, they'll talk about you. They'll start messing with you. They'll start, are those real numbers? Are those that? Or he's lying. I showed you how I do it. I don't need to prove myself because, like I said before, it's my 19th year in this industry. We're doing very well. Full time now. Been running this full time since the 2000 mark or 99. I can't remember. I have to go back to get the full time. That means I don't have another job. It means I'm not working somewhere else. I'm not, oh no, I can't get to the winter. I have to go to work at McDonald's for the rest of the winter so I can make sure I pay my bills. This is it. There's no winter income besides snow plowing. If it doesn't snow plow, I'm still able to live, take care of a family of 3. I got my wife. I got 2 kids. Does my wife work? Absolutely, she works. We live a great lifestyle. She's a teacher. I'm not denying that. I'm married up. I'm married smart. So this is what we need to do. This is what you need to do if you're going to be profitable, if you're going to make it in this business. Because this business can eat you up and spit you out like it's nothing. Especially now that equipment's crossed over the $12,000 mark for the bigger stuff. This is part of high efficiency mowing. I want you to track your numbers. It doesn't take long to list your customers up time in, time out. Get yourself a great program, like something that can help you make billing easier, your scheduling easier. That's why I chose Gopher. There's other great programs out there. I know Gopher for the big companies is worthless. It probably is. But for someone my size who's not going to be $1 million business, I already know it. But I'm living the lifestyle and I'm happy. I'm coming home at the end of the day and I'm spending time with my family. We're doing things. We're going on vacation and I'm living a great life and I'm happy. And that's what it's about, guys. This is Johnny Mow checking in with you. High efficiency mowing. It's going to be a very long video. I hope that you guys can even get through it all. See you later.